Is everything all right?
Is everything all right?
Test.
Try this one. Let me get a new batteries.
With my ice cream in hand. This is America for you right here. But anyways, I've done a little bit of protesting on the side. I protested with some teachers at a school next to my house that I had in Arizona, which I had to sell that house because of COVID. But I started doing with the nurses out in Tucson. I protested in California when I lived out there for 7 months. Can y'all hear me well? Yeah, it's popcorn over there. It's like popcorn. There we go. Ah, that's what it is. Ah, beautiful.
Too far
beautiful.
away.
So yeah, I protested out in Tucson. I went to California for 7 months because I lost my job because of COVID, because I didn't want to wear a mask. I lost my job 2 months after I bought a house. I said, what am I going to do? I ended up in California, trying to live my... Hello. I tried to live my dream out there in California as a fitness trainer. I ended up protesting at grocery stores because of the whole mask and the vaccine thing that was going on out there in California.
Hey guys, I tried.
Did I say that? Did I
but
say that?
apparently they keep
I
me
did,
really
didn't I?
busy,
Oh,
so
America.
here we go.
So I ended up coming back in April of 2021 to take care of my folks because they moved into my house with me. I passed away in September of last year. I lost my house also, right? Like I told you, I lost my house.
Yeah.
Lost the voice. Well, you know what? I can talk a little bit louder and y'all can probably still hear me without the microphone. Yeah, Sazak's got the bullhorn.
We need Sazak.
Where you at, Sazak?
He can't find a place to park.
Oh
Oh,
man, I knew that was gonna be an issue. Hello. How long you think? All right, well, we're gonna try to make this quick. Looking like we're kind of running on battery, going on low, but you know what? I got a backup plan. The backup plan is if we do lose battery, then what we're gonna do is the speakers are gonna be right in the middle and everybody's gonna form a circle around it. Yep.
campfire style.
Yeah, campfire style.
Campfire style.
All right, so I'm gonna get in the middle here. And if y'all can y'all all hear me well? Yeah? All right, I got a good big Texas voice, so you should be able to hear me pretty well. And so, kind of wrap it up a little bit. Like I said, I lost my father last year because of this whole vaccine thing. And I didn't know what I was doing. I had to sell my house because I couldn't keep my house no more. I ended up moving back to Texas from Arizona. Mind you, I was born and raised in this here city at St. David Hospital, right around the corner. I said, God, what am I doing going back to Texas? What do you got planned for me here? Well, I got a job as a personal trainer. I ended up leaving that job within a month and a half because I was getting overwhelmed mentally. Still trying to process my dad passing. And so, I lost my train of thought. Help me out here. Yeah, personal trainer. Lost my job. So you see that boot right there? The other boot's over there. That's basically what I got left of my dad. The other thing I got left of him, he's been riding around with me. I've got his ashes tucked away in my car. He's been with me from Texas all the way to DC.
Lock them up! Lock them all up!
I have back all the way to California with my dad in hand and seeing all these people on the overpasses. I've been lost for so long. I didn't know where.
Come on, brother.
Y'all understand, a lot of us been battling depression for the past 10 years. We've been the black sheep, we've been pushed out. How many times I didn't want to be here no more. I just wanted to be done. I didn't want to live no more. But this convoy, this movement, this peaceful assembly has brought so much hope and faith back into not just me, but all of us, from little all the way to older to the veterans. And I love all of you, all the people that are watching live. My hat's off to you guys. I love you all. I really appreciate the support and y'all coming out here. Thank you guys. Before I go break down any more tears, can we get you up here and say a few things? I gotta eat my ice cream and wipe my tears.
It's okay, brother.
Freedom tears.
Freedom Project. That's right. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to lock them all up. Lock them all up. Every one of them. Lock them all up. Lock them up.
Lock them all
Lock
up.
that
That's
jail.
what that's about. Lock them up.
Lock that
That's
jail.
accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability. That is like the number one. We all know what was done to these people. We all know the information that was suppressed, the information that was given out. It's not accurate. I want to say hypocrisy, but it's not. It's the lack of consistency that we've had and seen over the last few years. First it's this, then you get the facts. Oh, you'll be fine. And then it's, oh, well, you just won't die or you won't be in ICU. If you made a mistake, how many people make mistakes? We all do, right?
Yeah, that's part of learning.
What is part of that? Being accountable for it. Accountable, and how many people are not being held accountable for all of it? Nobody is. And that's so it's our job. It's our job to raise awareness to people. It's our job to bridge the gap. It's our job to be like, it's okay if you choose to get a vaccine. It's okay if you choose to wear a mask. It's okay. It's okay if you don't think like me. It's okay if we disagree. We can have civil discourse. That is what this country was made on. The freedom to have civil discourse.
Way over there. Wake up.
Hey! We'll give you a ride back. We won't make you go back. Hey!
Come watch this.
I guess.
Thank you for bringing it. Lock them all up. Lock them up.
But real quick before I hand this back off to Lisa, we all know the difference between right and wrong. So when it comes down to it, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, and we have been complacent for way too long. We have been consistently complacent for way too long. We have got ourselves into this mess, and we are going to get ourselves out of this mess. That's why we are having these peaceful assemblies, that we can talk amongst each other, so we can be able to delegate tasks, to be able to go forward, to be able to handle the issues that are at hand, to be able to hold these people accountable, to be able to vote these people in that need to be voted in, and vote the ones out that don't need to be in here. Period. The laws that are being introduced, we need to be abreast of them. That's what this freedom movement, that's what this peaceful assembly is really about. Taking our country back, taking our state back, and making a stand, not just for the state, not just for the country, but for the entire world. Freedom for the entire world. And we see it too. All around the world, people are standing up. They're standing up against their country. They're standing up against their government. And I've always said, for probably about 20 years, man, I love my country, but the government, I can kiss my white naked rear end. Yeah. Rear end.
Gotta keep it
My
clean.
rear end.
Gotta keep it clean.
Yeah. White naked rear end.
Dude, this is my Texas brother. We met trying to put this state together with several other amazing people. And he's like, I said, I'm going to take my RV and not my rig, because I don't know if some of you know this, but I own a trucking company in the oil fields. So I felt a little out of place for a little while. But I took that rig and he goes, hey, you think you got a spot for me? I'm like, yeah, I got a spot for 3 or 4 people. That's why I took it to house everybody. And he's just been rolling. We've been rolling ever since together. And we are brothers and sisters. And all of us have become family. All of you here, we're all family. We're in the same American family tribe. We are the Freedom Fighters, Freedom Tribe.
This is a freedom reunion.
That's what we're here for. It's a reunion. It's a Texas reunion.
Yep.
So, first rally, y'all. More to come. More to come. Yeah. We're gonna get bigger, and we're gonna get stronger, and we're gonna have a bigger family, and we're gonna have people that completely disagree with certain things, but they are all standing for the fundamental right of our freedoms. That's what this country was built on. If you have not read the Constitution, you need to get it out. I have the Constitution in an app on my phone. Put it on your phone. You need to understand that. Because if you don't understand it and you can't teach others, they're going to forget it because they're not teaching that in school. They're not. My nephew, I have to go through it all the time. What's the First Amendment? What does it mean? Why do we have it? So we can have, as I said, civil discourse. We can have the freedom to have civil discourse.
Alright, I don't want
Dad makes up to all kinds of stuff here.
but,
God loves Dad Max.
I'm back.
Photo bombing. So, I'll give you a little bit of history before I kind of go off into another track. I am not a person that would ever see myself standing up here. I never thought of myself as a leader, and I don't want to say leader in the bad connotations because I think that a lot of us, when we say leader, we've been trained, we've seen so many bad leaders in this world, in this country, that we just think that leader is bad, but it's not. There's two kinds of leaders in this world. One seeks the attention, the glory. They seek it for all the wrong reasons. The other one, you don't even know they're a leader until God puts them in that position, or they're thrust into it because they know what's right and they know what's wrong. And I keep going back to the whole thing with God. You don't have to believe in God to know it's good and evil, and it's pulling you. It's pulling you to good, and you see the evil in this world. So the background is I was just sitting at my computer one day seeing Canada and what Canada was going through. And y'all, if Canada has to stand up for their freedoms, you know something is wrong in this world. Because they are the nicest, kindest, easygoing people I've ever met in my life. I work with a ton of them out in the oil fields. They are kind and sweet and loving. They are easygoing about things. And if Canada, Justin Trudeau, has pushed it to the end that Canadian truckers and millions of people have to line the highways and inform their government that they've gone too far, it was Canada. And for all of us and around the world, if Canada had to take the lead, because they did, I feel like Canada had to take the lead. Everyone expects the United States to take the lead. They expect it. And when you become to expect something, it loses its value. It just does. That's the reality of things. Canada stood up and said no more. This is wrong. You cannot force people to do things against their will. It's wrong. And they started that spark. And thank God for Canada.
Amen.
Thank God for them.
God bless our Canada truckers.
And now it's the United States' turn to continue this movement and this momentum because we have to do it. We are the light of the world and have been for so long. And they know if they can snuff out the light of the United States and the spirit of the people, then they capture the world. So we have to continue to stand and push and support all of our brothers and sisters around the world, in Australia, in New Zealand. Yeah, everywhere.
France. The election was stolen in France.
France went big time. Big time. So,
Absolutely.
but that's the point. We know realities and truths. We also have to understand that there is such a stigma related to elections and fundamental natural rights. So that's what we're all here for. And we need to spread that message to get more people because there's so many other people that we have to gather.
So many.
We have to gather these people. And I've said it before. If you cannot convince someone and they are dead set, that's okay. You know what? I'm doing this for you and your freedoms. And I will come back and we'll talk about it later. But you can't waste your energy on that because we're in a war.
That's right.
We're in a war.
Misinformation war.
So that's, I'm not trying to preach either. I don't know, I'm kind of off the track. But my point, going back to the leadership, I saw Canada, I researched it, all of a sudden the People's Convoy came up on this Telegram channel that I have no familiarity with, and they started asking different states, oh, well, what are you doing in here? And I was in this Texas. What's going on in here? Why isn't we planned anything? And all of a sudden this moderator pops up. Well, are you interested? Well, yeah, of course. I'm digging in. You know, we got to get this handled. They flipped me over this other channel, which is like this leadership state lead channel. And I just sat there for about 5 minutes trying to process what the heck just happened. And I started working on these things with this other lady. And I was like, all right, well, let's figure this out. So we went back to the channel and started organizing the state and different things for about a week. And 3 days into it, I was still dumbfounded. And I finally told my mother, who was staying with me at the time, I said, you're not going to believe this, but somehow I've managed to be the state lead for Texas for the People's Convoy. And she's like, what? And I said, yeah, I don't know how this happened. I said, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because this needs to be done. This is the right thing. And I'm not going to back down from this. And so I worked oil fields 14 hours plus a day. And then at night, there was all these other people that were doing the same thing in different states. And we would work at night, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just trying to put these things together for the People's Convoy in our states because we all knew the same thing. This has to happen. And about a week into it, you know, I'm going 22, 23 hours, sleeping an hour or two a night, maybe. And I explained to my mom, now I know why people who protest don't have jobs. They don't have jobs. Because, and they're the loudest. That's why a lot of us are the silent majority, because we're so busy trying to maintain our lives and take care of our families, because we are obligated and we are dutiful about taking care of our families and the people around us. And after COVID, I don't know how many of you were hanging on by your fingernails after most of the lockdowns were finally pulled off, like in Texas. I mean, 2+ years. What are we on, 3? 2? Yeah, 2. You longer than that. Who's hanging on by their fingernails? All of us. And you know, you sit back and analyze that and you go, oh, they did it. They managed it. We were so busy trying to just rebuild our lives after it being stolen from us that they think we're not going to pay attention to what's going on. So it was hard, but here we are. Went on the convoy 26, started on the 25th from Three Rivers, Texas, headed north. 2 months. We've gone 15,000 miles together. 15,000 miles, and they're still on the move. Still on the move. And we knew last week we were called back to Texas. And I think I jumped the gun the other day and thought it was for a different reason. And then I came back and said, you know what? I guess it's just in God's time. We know we're supposed to be here at this rally. One day at a time, people. That's all we can do is one day at a time. But we still got to plan for our future. Because if we don't stand up for these freedoms, we're not going to have a future. Our kids aren't going to have a future. Their grandkids aren't going to have a future. And as I've said before, this is the last peaceful stand. This is the last peaceful stand. And I'm doing it and sacrificing everything I can. So many people are sacrificing everything they can, because the next step after that, we don't even want to talk about it. We don't even want to talk about it. We want to save the people from that step. That's what we want. So we got to continue to peacefully assemble and push hard peacefully, because we have that right. So who is next on the line? I feel like the Lord's like, cut it, you're done. Thank you guys for everything. You have been the support for us. You've been the support down here and the boots on the ground. And here's Carol. Thank you, Carol. This woman has been amazing on Boots on the Ground. Got a lot to say. Carol. Got it. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know, it was a group of us that got this all together. And if